Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero podcast, the show where I cover the least in the best way possible. I'm your host, Jason Wells. Today is Friday, November 28th, but for me, because I record a day early, it is the 24th anniversary of the Creed Thanksgiving halftime performances, one of the best shows put on ever. So if you're like me, who celebrate this day every year, this goes out to us. But actually today is American Thanksgiving. There is currently football being played, but I'm not watching because I'm just, I got to talk about the people, and I also just don't have another monitor. I'm using my laptop right now, if you didn't know. But right now, Packers 31, Lions 21. Fourth quarter just started. Lions have the ball on the Packers 28. It's a close game, so hopefully I can finish recording and go watch the end of the game, but we'll see. This is obviously going to be a bit of a different episode with current games being played. So I will recap this game up until I started recording, which was going into the fourth quarter. Maybe bad timing on my part, but I really want to watch this Chiefs-Cowboys game. I will give a preview recap of what Chiefs and Cowboys, and then I will do my traditional blind Thursday night football recap for Ravens-Bengals tonight. It's a really good Thanksgiving slate. We normally do not get a Thanksgiving slate this good. Good scheduling job, NFL. I mean, we get Joe Burrow's return. We're going to talk about all of that. On top of NFL Weekly Update, we do have a lot to talk about. A lot of low-key little signings that really don't mean anything, but they're names that I like to bring up for more specific reasons. But I guess let's just get right into NFL Weekly Update here. Starting off with big Lions news, unrelated to the game, but center Frank Ragnow is unretiring after just retiring, 4 or 5 months ago now. This is a huge addition to the Lions this late in the season. Like, this isn't like, they're bringing back some vet who's like, Frank Ragnow, I will still say, is one of the best centers in the league. And the difference in how this Lions offense is looking, again, it's still one of the better offenses in the league. But there's moments where they get kind of bottled up. Frank Ragnow, again, I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head, but the difference in the offense when Frank Ragnow plays versus when he is out is like night and day. Like, there's like a 10-team difference like amongst those gaps, which he makes a big difference. Again, they're currently losing, and right now, out of the wild card race in general, like, this is a win that they need to have. The NFC is an absolute bloodbath this year, so who knows if it matters, but it is a big addition for the Lions. Obviously not playing in this game. He'll play next week, and hopefully they just go on a little bit of a run to end the season, but who knows? This just came out in Colts practice, but Daniel Jones has apparently fractured his fibula, and is looking to potentially play on it. Whew, big sneeze. My bad. So yeah, Daniel Jones broke his leg, and he's like, I'm going to play on it. First of all, like, good on you. Toughness, that's like a great characteristic. Like, you want to keep getting out. You're having a career year. I think you can take a step, like, actually, he literally can't take a step back because he broke his leg, but he can't play. And I know no Colts fans wants to hear this, and it's like, of course he can play. There was like clips that came out where he is already like not the most mobile. I mean, I take that back. I mean, maybe I take back my take back because he is a pretty mobile dude, but we all saw him like trip on the 20-yard line in that game a few years ago. But the practice clips that came out, he just was like unable to move. He probably was moving around the same speed as me, which is pretty slow. Let's just be real here. But again, I don't know how you play, but again, it's the Colts season where, if Daniel Jones is out, and he's just an average functional quarterback where there's so much good in this offense where it should work. Anthony Richardson has kind of had that same luxury of, again, Shane Steichen still calling the plays. They've still had Jonathan Taylor, a solid offensive line. They've had these weapons. Everything has been there. No Tyler Warren, I guess, but would that have made that much of a difference? Who really knows? Probably not. Definitely not. But it might be Anthony Richardson's time to play. I guess I'll talk more about that in the preview, but Daniel Jones injury, that absolutely sucks. The 49ers have voided all of the guarantees in Brandon Ayuk's contract, apparently countless times. He's obviously rehabbing his injury, but countless times he did not show up for meetings, team activities, a bunch of stuff, and they're like, okay, that's enough. You have no more guarantees in your contract, and that just means they're going to cut him this offseason. The story, the saga, whatever, of Brandon Ayuk is nuts. I mean, I have to go back to that, what would have been 2023 season, where Brandon Ayuk had an absolutely incredible year where people are talking about him, as a surefire top 10 guy. Maybe, yeah, he had 75 catches for 1,342 yards, 7 TDs. Like, he had a really, really good year that year. And then he wants to get traded. He wants the big contract, and he says no to trades. And it's again, he was trying to really, really strong arm the 49ers. They didn't give in the end. Then he tears his whatever in his knee, and he's out for the rest of the year. He plays a full game. Again, doesn't get the offseason. It's kind of like what happens with Terry McLaurin this year, where he's holding out for the contract, and then Terry McLaurin basically didn't play the entire year because of lingering injuries, where Ayuk had the big injury, where he was out for the rest of the season. And I don't know where I was really going with this. Ayuk injury, he gets hurt because, again, he held out in the offseason, and instead of, rehabbing with the team, still going to film sessions, like still being like a part of this team, man, this is a full year later. Like, he should be probably playing by now at this point, so didn't take his rehab seriously. Again, I'm assuming he didn't take his rehab seriously, and obviously it's just, he doesn't want to be on this team. So he is losing out on so much money, like hundreds of millions of dollars, because he is being a petty little baby about it, I guess. We'll see what kind of contract he signs in the offseason. I'm sure it's going to be like a 2-year, $40 million deal or something like that, instead of, what was his contract? That's probably the other thing I should look up. Brandon Ayuk. What is his contract? Yeah, he signed a 4-year, $120 million deal. What a fucking idiot. Like, again, he might sign a quarter of his contract that he just signed. Either way, we can move on. The Broncos went on a bit of a spending spree. They have extended center Luke Wattenberg for $48 million. Malcolm Roach, 3 years, up to $29.25 million, with 14 of that guaranteed. And kicker Will Lutz, 3 years, $16 million, 9.1 guaranteed. We'll start off with Wattenberg. He was the highest paid guy. So Luke Wattenberg, the Broncos center, and this Broncos offensive line is the strength of their offense. Don't let anyone tell you it's Bo Nix. It is this offensive line. And Luke Wattenberg has been the Broncos center now for like a year and a half, and he looks the part. And people were worried when Ben Powers, who is also, again, a very good offensive lineman for this team, when Ben Powers went down, will Wattenberg struggle? And no, Wattenberg has held up, and now the Broncos are looking at it, it's like, okay, you're good. Ben Powers, I think, is on the last year of his deal. He's signed with the team in 2026, or 2027 he'll be a free agent, so maybe they're like, see you, Ben Powers, we'll try to find a replacement. I don't know. But with that being said, this Broncos offensive line, the same exact unit they have now, is the same exact unit for next year, and that is absolutely huge. Again, continuity on the offensive line, especially when they're all as good as the Broncos offensive line, is an incredible thing to have in the NFL, is very, very valuable. I think that's all I can say. We can leave it at that with Luke Wattenberg anyways. Malcolm Roach, someone who I didn't really know much about. I've heard the name. I am a draft guy where, again, do I know the ins and outs of Malcolm Roach's game? No, absolutely not. He was a UDFA in the COVID year, though, and obviously that would have been a hellish landscape to try to, go through as an NFL prospect when you can't be in team buildings and can't really meet and everything's online. Again, it would have been a nightmare. I mean, we all experienced it, but he managed to kind of navigate his way through finding a good spot with the Broncos eventually. And yeah, this Broncos defensive line is awesome. And it is Zach Allen's the main guy, of course. And then you have Malcolm Roach. I forget who their nose tackle is, but their nose tackle is good too. And you also have Jonathan Franklin Myers. And it seemed like they had a decision, pay Malcolm Roach, pay Jonathan Franklin Myers. I think Franklin Myers is going to get a little bit more on the open market than what Roach got here. But again, when you're a UDFA and you just got $14 million guaranteed, like, that's great. And again, making like $9 million a year is insane, obviously. In the NFL, it's not that much money. And Malcolm Roach is a good, solid player. So shout out to him. Will Lutz, the kicker. I don't know why the Saints ever let him go. I mean, the Saints just cut their kicker, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But, yeah, like, Will Lutz has always been a really good kicker and had like a really good leg. I think he had a few like up and down years with the Saints, but now he's in Denver. Now he has the altitude, and now that big leg, even though he is a little bit older, it's just cutting right through the air. No, he's great. He absolutely deserves this money. The Saints, again, Mickey Loomis sucks at his job. The Rams extend Nate Landman 3 years, $22.5 million, 15.6 of that guaranteed. A UDFA from the 2022 class, I think out of Buffalo, and started off with the Falcons, played a few years there. I do remember him, I think last year, like making a few like splash plays, but it was nothing crazy. And now he is just the full-fledged starter for this Rams team. The Rams, especially on defense, and if you're looking for a head coach, Rams coordinator Chris Shula is a name that keeps popping up. And yes, Shula, he is Don Shula's grandson, which, again, that lineage is just crazy. But I don't know if it's his, or again, if it's Les Snead's ability to identify players, or whoever in that organization who is in charge of like pro scouting and bringing people into Chris Shula's system and what he runs, or if it's Chris Shula and his staff like developing these players. But this Rams defense is just built up of guys who were, one, I mean, all on rookie contracts, or two, just brought in as like forgotten pieces. Like Nate Landman, now again, the starting linebacker for the Rams, very good at his job. UDFA 2022. They bring in Emmanuel Forbes, who was like a bust, and now he looks like a very good corner. They've drafted Jared Verse, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, Brady Fisk, Cam Kitchens. Again, lots of guys. Like, I've named most of the Rams starting defense at this point. Their ability to find talent, utilize that talent, it's great. Chris Shula, I think I've mentioned potential head coaching candidate, but I definitely did. Either way, backtracking, good for Nate Landman for finding a home in LA. A couple of firings. I think I probably touched them on Wednesday's show, but the Raiders fired Chip Kelly almost immediately after that game on Sunday. I forget when that game was. Either way, the Raiders are absolutely terrible, and we knew this, and it has since come out that Chip Kelly was like just not getting play calls in time for the team to run them, or not running play calls that were installed during practice. And you might be like, oh, like, what do you mean by... So teams during like the week of practice, obviously they scheme for whoever they're playing against and their tendencies and things like that. And the playbook is made up of like 150, 200 plays. Like, it's huge. So they'll like specifically bring it down to, again, I have no idea. Let's just say like 50 plays. And those are the plays that they practice like for that entire week. Like, that, this is our game plan. And Chip Kelly was just kind of pulling off random plays that these guys all kind of know, but haven't been practicing for this entire week. So things look out of order, and people, again, one guy is out of sync on a play, the whole play gets blown up. And this was a regular occurrence. Chip Kelly, the highest paid NFL offensive coordinator, with one of the worst NFL offenses. Absolutely deserved. We'll see how it goes for Greg Olsen. And then the Giants fire Shane Bowen. Yeah, absolutely makes sense. You don't get a defense with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Bobby Okereke, and like, again, that secondary, I like pieces on it. It's not a good, like, cohesive unit, but they have enough players on it where it shouldn't look that bad, especially with that pass rush that they have, but it does look that bad. So Shane Bowen absolutely deserves to go. Trayvon Moore got a 1-game suspension for punching Jawan Jennings in the nuts. He tried to appeal it. I don't know what you're fucking appealing. Like, you just flat out just punched the dude in the nuts. Now we get on to the old vet unk signings here. The Bills signed Brandon Cooks and Shaq Lawson. Brandon Cooks, I mean, we talked about it on Wednesday. Obviously a very good receiver back in his day, but the key words were back in his day. But signing Brandon Cooks was enough for the Bills to get rid of Elijah Moore, which that's also kind of crazy, but it's not really. Again, me and draft things, and Elijah Moore, the 2nd-round pick by the Jets, like I said, like he had talent at some point, but Brandon Cooks, again, future Hall of Very Good member. We'll see what this does. I'm interested to see if he gets more yards than Amari Cooper did in his Bills tenure, because I think it was like 297. It's doable. The Bills offense, not great. Shaq Lawson, former Bills 2016 first-round pick, never really had, again, he's been in the league for a decade now, so, good for him, but depth. Just, again, former first-round pick Shaq Lawson. The 49ers sign former first-round pick Eric Kendricks. Could I have done that for Brandon Cooks? Yeah, Brandon Cooks, former first-round pick. 49ers sign Eric Kendricks. Again, they just need help on defense. Eric Kendricks, while old, again, future Hall of Very Good member at some point. It's a signing. It's a body. 49ers defense needs bodies. Simple as that. The Chiefs sign Dameon Pierce. We'll see how that goes. Kareem Hunt is Kareem Hunt. Pacheco's Pacheco. Rookie Brashard Smith has done a couple things during the season. Let's see how Dameon Pierce fits into it all. But again, Dameon Pierce had that one rookie season where wow, he's such a fun player, and then nothing since then. But the Saints sign Cade York, the former Browns kicker, former LSU kicker, so he goes back home to Louisiana. I don't know where he's actually from. He's probably from Louisiana. Most players from LSU are from Louisiana, or at least the area. Regardless, so Saints, after cutting Blake Grupe, who was, the guy was 5'8", 140, soaking wet. I could have told you that after a few years that this man's leg was not going to hold up. But regardless, they signed in Cade York after also bringing in Justin Tucker for a tryout. Yes, how funny would that have been? Justin Tucker, the Saint. Obviously they couldn't make that. They just couldn't do that. I don't know who Justin Tucker knows on the Saints really well for him to just get a tryout, but there is zero chance that he should get signed ever again. He's done. Please, retire. Or just, he's blackballed, but whatever. Seahawks signed Cam Akers, just another college draft guy, big name college guy who, a lot of injuries in his career, but I think he's a Super Bowl champion. Either way, he's been productive in spots. Now he's with Seattle after leaving the Vikings for the 14th time, it seems. Isaiah Simmons signs with the Panthers. Again, one of my guys from the 2020 draft. I thought Isaiah Simmons was going to be special. Now he's on his 5th team, it seems. I don't know. The Panthers used Shaq Thompson for a decade really well, and Shaq Thompson was kind of a hybrid player in college, but I think it's too late for Isaiah Simmons, but I will still always hold out hope for him. The Titans signed Kaiir Elam, the Bills' former first-round pick. Kaiir Elam sucks. That flat out. If he couldn't make it on the Cowboys secondary, who just desperately needed bodies for a large part of this season, I think that's it. Again, the Titans are probably the last chance he has, because the Titans also are just no talent on them. And last note here, Marshall Faulk is taking the head coaching job at Southern University, a HBCU. Something I didn't know. So obviously, when I know Marshall Faulk is obviously the Hall of Fame running back for the Rams and the Colts. And again, when I got into my formative youth years, I don't know what I'm saying. He was on NFL Network, he was an analyst, and I was like, oh, he's good, and then he just left at some point, and I don't know when he left or why he left, but he was also all of a sudden gone, and then apparently he was the offensive coordinator at Colorado next to Dion, and now he's taken this job to kind of do his own Deion thing potentially. I mean, if you don't know, Deion Sanders also coached at an HBCU before coaching at Colorado. I don't know. Very cool of Marshall. I don't know why I keep saying Marshall Faulk to do this. And again, he's a Hall of Famer coaching at an HBCU. It's a big deal. That is the NFL Weekly Update. Let's check in on the 4th and goal on the Packers 13 for the Lions, and it's still 31-21 with 3 minutes left. This is the game here, folks. And I guess I will talk about it because the game's about to end. Lots of injuries, unfortunately, on both sides. Amon-Ra left with an ankle injury. He's out for the game. Again, this just happened. I don't know what's going on. Just before I was about to record, I know Edge Cooper for the Packers. He is down hurt, and I don't know if he got back into the game, but this is a big, big win for the... Oh, it's also 4th and goal on the 13, so it's rather the Lions score or they don't. I'll be interested. There's no way they kick a field goal. Either way. Big win for the Packers. Jordan Love, great game. Dontavian Wicks, this is the game. People in fantasy are always like, oh, Dontavian Wicks, he separates. He's so good at routes, but he just can't catch a ball. This is one of the games where Dontavian Wicks remembers how to catch a ball. And yeah, he was absolutely fantastic. I think he had 2 touchdowns in this, 5 catches, 78 yards, 2 TDs. Also rushed it for 6 yards. But this was the game that this Packers offense needed. They ran the ball. Well. Jordan Love hit his spots when he needed to. But really, it was the Lions defense just sucking. Very, very bad. Yeah, I don't like they were just flat out not good. And this is I've given a lot of lenience to the Lions defense the last couple years because they have been very hurt. And yes, they're still currently hurt. They don't have Kirby Joseph, but most of their team is there. Aiden Hutchinson is back healthy. Lee McNeil back healthy. Jack Campbell still there at linebacker. Alex Anzalone still there at linebacker. They still have Brian Branch. The corners are the corners, but I think the corners are all solid in their own right. The defense shouldn't look this bad. I don't think that Dontavian Wicks and should be carving you up. There's no one on this Packers offense that should really be carving you up. I know what I just said about the Dontavian Wicks metrics, and he does get open, but I don't know. It can't look like they were just getting pushed over. When the Packers wanted to score, the Packers wanted to score. The Lions offense couldn't run the ball. Obviously, Noah Amon-Ra really hurts the offense, but Jameson Williams, 7 catches, 144 yards and a TD. Did Micah Parsons do... I saw Devontae Wyatt make a few big plays and pressures, and yes, of course, Micah Parsons also had 2.5 sacks. Again, good game, big game for the Packers for just overall seeding. Where are... So Lions currently at 7-4, Packers 7-3-1. This now brings the Packers to 8-3-1 and currently the lead for the division. And yeah, the Packers at 7-5. That wild card race in the NFC is so tough. Right now, so Seahawks are 8-3, the Bears are going to be 8-3, and then the Niners are 8-4. And now the Lions are going to be 7-5 with a chance for the Niners and Seahawks to extend those leads in the wild card. The Bears also have an opportunity to extend that lead too. Again, the wild card is so tough this year in the NFC, and this is a big pivotal game, and we'll see what happens. Losing both divisional games to the Packers this year, it probably leaves the Lions without... without hope in the NFC North. I can keep going. How long have I been going? I've been going for a decent amount of time. The next game up here that's literally just about to start. Has it not? Have they not done anything? I guess it's a commercial or a timeout or something, but Chiefs at Cowboys. Chiefs minus 3.5, total set at 52.5. The Cowboys looking to keep their season alive, and also the Chiefs kind of looking to keep their season alive. They got the big win last week versus the Colts and looked a little slow going, but things should get kicked into gear. And while the Cowboys defense has been playing much better, they're still like a pretty good-ish unit. The Chiefs offense should be able to roll. The keyword there is always should, but should be able to roll. While on the other side, the Cowboys offense will roll. The Chiefs know, again, their defense is still good, solid, but me saying that the Chiefs offense is comparable to the Cowboys offense right now, or defenses, sorry, seems blasphemous knowing what the Chiefs defense has done over the past few years and what the Cowboys defense has been over the past few years. And saying they're comparable is nuts, but they are. Like, I genuinely think that the addition of Quinnen Williams for the Cowboys has really, again, elevated them so much. Plus all of the other guys coming back from injuries and just the trades in general, whatever. Cowboys defense isn't bad, but they're... Again, this is it for them. If they lose this, like, again, I'm talking about the NFC wildcard race, like, they lose this, they're definitely out of it. I don't know. Like, we'll see. Like, this is truly like a we'll see. Like, the Chiefs being minus 3.5 while the Cowboys are at home seems nuts to me as well, but I guess we'll see. I guess that's all. Like, I guess I do have to give a prediction because this is going to come out, obviously tomorrow morning, where... What have I been saying? I like the defenses, but I really like the offenses. What's the over for this one? Over's 52.5. That's such a big over. It should hit, though. Wow, the Lions kicked the field goal. So the Lions are within one score. There's 3 minutes left. I'm assuming they still have all 3 timeouts. Because then that makes no sense. Either way, we'll keep giving updates on what happens at the end of this game, I guess. I just think that the Chiefs have to win, and the Chiefs are a better team than what their record shows. Where, yeah, like, obviously in my power rankings, I still have them 9th. Where, yeah, I still believe in, like, they're 6-5, but I think that they are in the, obviously the same tier as my top 5 teams, being the Rams, Seahawks, Patriots, Lions. Like, they're still in that tier of teams. So, I'm taking the Chiefs. Don't know about 3.5, but Chiefs are going to win this one. And I guess now time for the blind Thursday night football recap. Bengals and Ravens. Joe Burrow makes his return to the NFL, and just in the nick of time to play a storied divisional matchup, tale as old as time. Bengals and Ravens, 2 heated rivals. I'm just saying words at this point. But Burrow is back. Ja'Marr Chase also back from the suspension, and it's like nothing ever happened. The connection was there. Ja'Marr Chase having one of his best games of the season. While, yes, that Ravens secondary is improved, they just don't have the corners to match up. Nate Wiggins really struggled to cover Nate Wiggins in this one. Nate Wiggins struggled to cover Ja'Marr Chase. And on the other side, this Bengals defense absolutely sucks. We know this. But they slowed Lamar down enough. Like, I know Lamar is hurt. He's hurt literally every part of his leg. We've been over this. But it seemed like the Ravens should boat race them. And the score was still high. They still scored a bunch of points. But it was closer than I expected at the end of the day. Final score, Ravens 28, Bengals 24. That is your blind Thursday night football recap. Let's get into the rest of the Week 13 preview. Friday game, Bears at Eagles. Eagles -7, total set at 44.5. And big news for the Bears anyways, Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon are both coming off of IR, activated for this game. And I mentioned it. This secondary is going to get a big boost when those 2 guys are back, and those 2 guys are back, where now that nickel spot is, again, Kyler Gordon, one of the better nickel players in this league. Jalen Johnson, one of the better outside corners in this league. Nahshon Wright leading the league in interceptions already. The secondary is good. When you have a good secondary, that pass rush that hasn't been great has a split second more time to get after the quarterback, make some pressures, make him make a little rush decisions. We'll see how it goes. And luckily for them, I guess, they're going against the Eagles, where we don't know what is going to happen with this team any given day. Again, they have Saquon, they have A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, but sometimes they just, don't use them at all. This feels like it's going to be a Saquon game, though. I will say that the Bears' rushing defense has not been good. I think the Eagles need to establish the run. And the Eagles' offensive line, again, no Lane Johnson, which is obviously a huge miss, but they still got some dudes on it. Their dudes should still be able to move the Bears' dudes. We'll see how it goes. And the Bears' offense going against the Eagles' defense, that Eagles' secondary is very hurt at the moment as well. Andrew Makuba. Oh yeah, the Bears don't have linebackers. That's why Saquon should go off. I'm like, there's a reason why I think that Saquon's going to have a pretty good game. Yeah, the Bears just straight up don't have linebackers, so it's a big Saquon game potentially. But talking about injuries for this game with the Eagles and their secondary, rookie Andrew Makuba, who I think they picked in the second round. He is on IR with a broken ankle. They're also missing Reed Blankenship is questionable, and he was limited in practice, but we'll see how that carries over. But again, he's already banged up. Marcus Epps is on IR too. Max was exaggerating. Yeah, Max was exaggerating. Max, the Pardon My Take producer, Eagles fan, he said their entire secondary is hurt. Their entire secondary is not hurt. Andrew Makuba, who broke his ankle, that sucks. That's a big injury, but Reed Blankenship looks like he's going to play, and that's their secondary, regardless. But again, Andrew Makuba is a pretty big loss, and again, I like what I've seen from this Bears defense. I do think that the Eagles defense, or the Bears offense, again, and it's a big test for this Bears offense to go against the Eagles and guys like Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Jalen Phillips, just the front seven, and obviously they still have Cooper DeJean, still have Quinyon Mitchell. It'll be a good matchup. +7 feels a little ridiculous in my opinion, but I guess we'll see how it goes. I personally kind of like the over. I think that both teams are going to score pretty well, but again, we'll see how that goes. On to the Sunday slate. Jags at Titans. Jags -5.5. Total set of 41.5. The Titans are not good. Cam Ward has looked better over previous weeks, but I will say most of those games were seemingly over before they started. But the Jags have been on a roll and have looked pretty good since the bye. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence has had some highs and lows, but now he's going against a Titans team that, shouldn't give him literally any trouble. Is Brian Thomas Jr. playing? That's the one thing I'm looking up. Brian Thomas Jr. is not listed on the Scores injury report, so he is back. I think the Jags are going to score a lot more points than the Titans. I think that's very bold of me to say, but yeah, I think the Jags are going to score a boatload more points than the Titans. Jags -5.5 seems fairly good in my opinion. We'll keep going though. Packers have the ball, 2-minute timeout, 3rd and 3 on the Lions 45. So that's the game if they convert that. Falcons at Jets. Falcons -2.5. Total set at 39.5. The Jets can't score points. The Jets can score points when they get lucky on special teams or lucky on offense. Nothing is ever by their own doing or their own volition. I guess special teams I'll give those guys credit, but on offense, it's usually the defense really messing up and allowing the Jets offense to score more than the other way around. Yeah, Drake London is still out. Yeah, Kirk Cousins I think is better than Michael Penix and his arm is more well rested, so I think that he'll be fine. The Jets are terrible. The Falcons should win this one. The Falcons defense has been looking pretty good. The Falcons offense still has Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts and Darnell Mooney, I guess. I should have stopped after Bijan Robinson, but the Falcons offense, the Falcons are so much better than the Jets in almost every aspect except coaching, because go Aaron Glenn and I'm out on Raheem Morris. It might just be a Terry Fontenot thing and the GM thing for the Falcons, but we'll keep moving on. They're still at the 2-minute warning. Rams at Panthers. Rams -10. Total set at 44.5. So I mentioned in the NFL Weekly Update, but Trayvon Moehrig 1-game suspension, and would be pretty useful to be in this game. Like, Morrig is one of their better defensive players. Again, they don't have a lot of good defensive players, but Morrig is one of the better ones. And him being suspended for the game where, they play Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams and Matt Stafford and just the Rams, would have been helpful for him to be in this game. But no, he had to punch Jauan Jennings in the nuts, and I guess we'll leave it at that. But the Rams are going to win this one by a lot. I have nothing to say. Like, that silence was just kind of me, like, doing little shrugs at the camera for the audio listeners. I don't know. The Rams are going to win by a lot. The Panthers have, after that great showing against the Falcons of being like, oh, look, they finally remembered that Bryce Young should throw the football more. They immediately went away from that, but also went away from giving the ball to Rico Dowdle as well. Their entire game plan against the Niners just absolutely confused me. They got 3 turnovers early in the game. Three turnovers in the first half, and I don't think capitalized on any of them because I don't know what Dave Canales was doing. There was a very bad game on, for his standards, for my standards anyways, but has anything happened? 4th and 3, they have stonewalled them. How deep would that kick be? 50, it'd be a 62-yard kick for the Packers. I don't think that whoever their kicker is, I think he has a long name, but I don't actually. Again, I'm right here. I can just go look at it. What's his kickers? Oh, it's Brandon McManus. Yeah, fuck Brandon McManus. I hope they let him try that and then the Lions go down and win. Where was I? Who was I supposed to be talking about here? My own team. Saints at Dolphins. Dolphins -6. Total set at 41.5. If we don't kill the Saints, again, I have no hope left. There's nothing left in this season. Blah, 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 blah. Mike McDaniel is literally coaching for his job. That's what he does, but he is coaching for his job. At least in my heart, he's coaching for his job because Mike McDaniel is seemingly safe for next year. And to me, if you want the locker room behind you, if you want the fan base behind you going into next year, you need to show that your offense off a bye can whoop a team like the Saints, who is just flat out bad across the board. The Saints have nothing going for them. Kamara's hurt. Devin Neal also hurt, but also just he's not very good. The offensive line, not very good. Tyler Shuck is terrible. The defense, not very good at any spot. Waddle should cook. HN should cook. Tua should just do his thing and not turn over the ball, but we'll see how that goes. The defense, I would like to see something from them. I would like to see them kick the shit out of the Saints because, again, it's very doable. But I just want to see, again, we've had the big morale-boosting win against the Bills. We had the close game in Spain against the Commanders, which, again, 2 wins in a row. That's big. The team feels good. But this is another win where it just kind of, again, season doesn't matter. But going into next year, I would like the team to seemingly be moving in one cohesive direction. And it starts with this game, in my opinion. But we'll see. The total, I'd probably go under, honestly. Like, again, this feels like a game where, the Dolphins really score like 24, 27, 28, whatever kind of points. But I don't think the Saints should score more than 13. And we'll leave it at that. What has happened in this game? Packers went for it on 4th down instead of punting, or that's probably the smarter play. So, Packers get a win and everything I said still reigns true. Cardinals at Buccaneers. Bucks -3. Total set of 43.5. There's a chance Teddy Bridgewater might be playing, which I'm down for. Would be fun, but I think Baker's going to play through it. His shoulder injury, while not great, it's like manageable. It's much more manageable than what he went through with the Browns. And the Cardinals are the Cardinals, where, Jacoby Brissett has been playing some fun football, and Michael Wilson has been playing some very fun football. Is Marv still not practicing? He was limited. So, that was 32 minutes ago he was limited. So Marv might play this weekend, and then I would really like to see what this offense looks like with Marv playing with Jacoby Brissett. So he hasn't played since November 9th, and that was against Seattle. Did this game, I think this was Jacoby's first game with him. It was. Jacoby Brissett's first game this year was the Indy game. And Marv started to look better. Yeah, okay. That's either way. Marv Harrison, Trey McBride, Michael Wilson. That offense, that passing attack should look pretty good. Pretty damn good. I would imagine so anyways. I would assume a fairly high-scoring game. Bucky Irving going to be back too. We'll see how this one goes. Again, a game that the Bucks just need to win because of their division. Their division sucks, so it might not matter. But Cardinals might play spoiler. Again, we'll see how Baker looks, because that, again, I think Baker's going to play, but we'll see what version of Baker we get. We'll keep going. Niners at Browns. Niners minus 4.5. Total set at 35.5. That total is so funny. With that being said, that is disrespectful to Shedeur Sanders. And maybe it's not disrespectful to Shedeur, but it's disrespectful to the Browns as a whole. Yeah, that offensive line is absolutely terrible. But again, I think that they have good enough weapons to score against this Niners defense. Robert Saleh has them playing very, very, very well. I give that man a ton of credit. He is a great coach. The Jets are absolutely fools to let him go. But 35.5 is so low. And yeah, the Browns defense is absolutely crazy and like, oh, it should slow down. But the Niners offense is still like the Niners offense. It has Christian McCaffrey. It has Juwan Jennings, George Kittle, Ricky Pearsall. Maybe this is like the big Ricky Pearsall game where he comes out of nowhere. They got Trent Williams. It's like, again, a very good defense against a very good offense. We see this all the time, and we'll see who gets the better of another. But like to me, that's more of like a 50-50 toss-up. It's not like, oh, the Browns are absolutely going to shut them down. And you're telling me that, I don't know, I think that this Browns offense is capable of like 2 touchdowns. There's not a lot of good players on the Niners defense right now. A lot of them are hurt. But 35.5 seems very, very, very low. But the Niners should win this one. They better win this one. They need to win this one anyways. Again, all about that wild card race. Texans at Colts. Colts minus 3.5. Total set at 44.5. So I was already humming and hawing of like, who do I like? Do I like the Texans or the Colts? I don't think that CJ Stroud is back, and that actually might sway everything. He's in full practice, still in concussion protocol. That means he will be elevated and good to go. So CJ Stroud is back. And again, that changed because I was like, Davis Mills, like maybe, but I just talked about it. Daniel Jones broke his leg. Daniel Jones is going to be very hobbled, whether that just be on the sideline or him actually trying to play in an NFL game. He's going against one of the best defenses, actually, I'll just say, the best defense in the NFL. Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter. Again, this Texans offense or the Colts offensive line is good. But no one's good against those two guys in this defense in general. And telling me a guy with a quarterback with a broken leg is going to be able to stand in the pocket like firmly and like make the big throws when it matters. And maybe this is just a big Jonathan Taylor game and he absolutely gashes the Texans defense. We'll see. But even with the slight chance of Daniel Jones not playing, and then it's Anthony Richardson having to play against this Texans defense, then it's like, chef's kiss. And with CJ Stroud coming back, I think the Texans offense has shown a lot of good things. It's just Davis Mills has been the quarterback, and they've been winning. He hasn't been bad enough to lose, and that is the definition of a good NFL backup quarterback, is just not losing your team football games. But CJ Stroud can elevate this offense just a little bit more. I talked about it in that Thursday night football game with the against the Bills last week, where Mills was just missing guys who were open, where if Stroud was playing, I think that score would have looked much, much different than it ended up being. But Stroud is back. I think, again, playing a good Colts defense. It's a tough game. This is going to be a very fun game, though. But Daniel Jones having a broken leg against this defense, I am in on the Texans in this one. Absolutely. And again, it's the divisional races are heating up. Next game here, Vikings at Seahawks. Seahawks minus 11.5. Total set at 41.5. My question is J.J. McCarthy J.J. McCarthy playing. He was limited in practice. I'll just say this. If J.J. McCarthy plays, the Vikings are going to lose by 1,000,000. If J.J. Brosmer plays... If Max Brosmer plays, the Vikings are still going to lose this game by a lot, but Justin Jefferson is going to remind people he's Justin Jefferson and have a good game. If you don't know, Max Brosmer is a UDFA from this year, but he looked very good throughout multiple, stages of his draft cycle, whether it be the All-Star games, before the Combine, his pro day, the preseason, training, stuff. There's been, rumblings out of the Vikings media during the off season of oh, this Max Brosmer guy looks pretty damn good. He looked really good in preseason too, and now we might get to see him on the field. And if he is just again, not if he's lights and day better than JJ McCarthy, that's fantastic. That's amazing news for the Vikings fan. Move on from JJ McCarthy. But if he just looks average, if this just looks like an NFL run offense, it should be, any Kevin O'Connell offense with the level of talent that he has around him, if he just makes it look like a functional offense again, JJ McCarthy absolutely out the door, but then you also don't have your real answer at quarterback. I'm just saying if Max Brosmer plays at a Davis Mills type level for this team, again, we'll see. The Seahawks are going to win this game by a lot. I'm interested to see what Brian Flores does to disrupt Jackson Smith-Njigba. Maybe this is the week it's finally the Rashid Shaheed touchdown long reception game. We'll see, because he's been very quiet for the first 3 weeks he's been there. 2 weeks he's been there? I think 3 weeks he's been there now. We'll keep going. Bills at Steelers. Bills -3.5. Total set of 46.5. I have no idea in this one. Again, everything of what the Bills have been and what they've done have been the Bills are going to win this game. They have Josh Allen. That has not mattered this year. This Bills defense is absolutely terrible, and they're going against a bad offense as well. So we'll see how that kind of shakes out, but I gotta sneeze. Do I? Yes, I do. That being said, the Bills offense, it's Josh Allen and James Cook. This passing attack is bad. Luckily for them, the Steelers' defense, while still being pretty good, that secondary, while having a bunch of names in it, also isn't great. But I would take every one of the Steelers' secondary players over any player in the offense for the Bills not named James Cook, Josh Allen, or the offensive line. Any receiver for the Bills. Yeah, I take any Steelers DB. Regardless, this game is big. The Bills need to win this one. And not they need to win it for a morale boost purposes to be we're the Bills, remember, we're still here. They need to win this one again to stay alive in the AFC wildcard race. Yeah, there are a lot of teams and the Bills are in control of their own destiny at the end of the day, but it's close. They're 7-4. They're tied with the Chargers, Jags, and Bills. But then you have the Texans, Steelers, Chiefs, all at 6-5. Where them losing this game, the Chiefs, again, the Steelers would jump them. If the Texans win, then they jump them. And all of a sudden, they're not controlling their own destiny anymore. This is a big win, or this is a big game for the Bills. They need to win this one. The Steelers are the Steelers, so they're going to play exactly how they always play. It's just we'll see what version of the Bills we do end up getting here. Raiders at Chargers. Chargers -8.5. Total set at 40.5. I'm interested to see what the Raiders' offense looks like. Because again, with the stuff that's coming out about Chip Kelly, of him just not getting the play calls in and not running plays that weren't installed during practices, just by him leaving and having someone who's just going to be cohesive with everybody, that should automatically be a big boost. Again, we'll see how it ends up playing out. I don't think the Chargers defense is anything scary. So I don't know, maybe this is a big Ashton Jeanty game, maybe Trey Tucker, or maybe they just start sending it to Brock Bowers, and everyone's hi, we have Brock Bowers, let's fucking use him. We'll see. The Chargers, their offensive line is still abysmal, but they have Amari and Hampton back. Offensive Greg Roman said that, we're looking like a 1-2 punch with Hampton and Vidal. Should absolutely not be the case, but yes, you should probably ease your rookie running back in a little bit more from injury. So don't expect much from the Chargers run game anyways. If they're going to win this game, it will be through the air. It will be with Justin Herbert. Max Crosby will be in his grill the entire day, though. That will be a fun matchup to see how he handles that. But regardless, Ladd, Quentin Johnston, Oronde Gadsden, Keenan Allen, all of those guys will be getting open consistently. Chargers are going to win this one easy, but I think the Raiders are going to show more fight than they have in a while. I think I'm taking the over in this one, actually. Broncos Commander, Broncos -6, total set of 43.5. Jane Daniels might play. Terry McLaurin might play. I guess we'll see how that goes for them. They should not be playing. Broncos defense really good. Is Pat Surtain any close from coming back from his injury? He is questionable. He is limited to open the week. So maybe he's back. And again, this is one of the better defenses in the NFL as well. While the Commanders' defense is absolutely horrible and their offense is okay. It puts up some fight, but Broncos are going to win this one. But maybe this is the Commanders hang around in this one because Bo Nix does some really goofy stuff, but we'll see. Then finally, Monday Night Football, Giants at Patriots, the old 2-time Super Bowl matchup. Patriots -7, total set of 46.5. Yeah, I mean, this was once a glorious matchup. Brady versus Eli Manning, and again, both of those games were incredible games. And now this, the differences. We have Drake May and Mike Vrabel led Patriots, and then the Giants have just been in absolute dysfunction since Coughlin and Manning have left. But the Patriots, again, the key word is should win this one. They should win this one. Will Campbell is out. That is going to be very, very tough. I think that Jackson Dart is back, so that's good. The other injury that I want to look at for the Patriots, I already think I know the answer. Jared Wilson he's doubtful. He's out. So they're missing their starting. So the Patriots are missing their starting left tackle and left guard. And again, the Giants just fired Shane Bowen. I expect that defense to get a bit of a boost just based off that. And the guys on that defensive line, Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, I've gone over this quite a lot of who is on that Giants defensive line. This feels like a trap game. I talked about, that the Patriots and Bengals last week was almost a trap game, but the Bengals being the Bengals are, again, they can't beat anyone. But now with no Will Campbell, no Jared Wilson, the offense is still, but this offensive line is going to be really bad. And the Giants, while, they are 2-10, they're not this bad. They're not 2-10 bad. They're not on the same level as, a Saints team or a Titans team. They're in that next tier with, the Dolphins and the Falcons. They're good enough. They've just been on the wrong end of a lot of bad losses for them, unfortunately, where this might be a Giants win. This feels like a Giants win to me. Maybe I'm calling my shot. Maybe I'm just hoping that the Patriots lose, because obviously, of course, I would hope that the Patriots would lose. But yeah, this feels like, Jackson Dart coming back off of injury. That offense has just been looking well anyways. And even if it's not Jackson Dart, if it's Jameis Winston, sure. No Milton Williams for the Packers still. And that's a big loss. And maybe Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy can run the ball. I don't know. I just think that the Patriots offense is not going to look good this week just because they're missing their left side of their offensive line and they're going against a very good defensive line. I think it's as simple as that. Giants +7 definitely seems to be my play, but Giants money line. I'm thinking about it anyways. That'll do it for this episode. Bit of a longer one. No one's on bye week. And the next week we have 4 teams on bye week. 4 teams on bye week, and that is the final bye week. Then we get in the fantasy playoffs. I don't know. Little life update to end the episode, I guess. Movember was a success. I'll get closer to the camera where you can see my nice... I forget what American president done it. The question is a lot of them, but essentially, for the audio listeners, I attached my sideburns beard into my mustache, and the area by my chin is bald, and everywhere under my chin is also bald. So and that kind of look for Movember. I think I'm rocking it. I'm sure some people disagree. First semester at school is almost done. It's been a lot of assessments and tests and things like that to kind of like wrap up our week, but I'm crushing it. What can I say? Yeah, I don't know. Good luck to the Woodsman A team who's driving 13 hours to fucking Peterborough, Ontario in a tiny ass bus. Salute to you, gentlemen, because that sounds awful, and I'm going to have to probably do it next year, so we'll see how that goes. But at least for me, I'm going not back home, but going back to my home province anyways. I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but school's going well. Almost done. Excited for Christmas. Excited to watch Chiefs Cowboys, and that's what I should be doing. And as always, if you have liked this, please like, share, retweet, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Tell your friends, and until next time, peace.